A quick summary of today's walk. A beautiful walk, scenic with high mountains, waterfalls, open grassy plains with a steep climb at one point. Overall, about a 14-kilometre tramp with a 300-metre altitude increase. There is a steep climb up to Young Hut, sitting on a hillside, with its balcony providing a view to high, snow-capped mountains. It has 2 bunk rooms, each with 3 double bunks. Morning campers, we're about to leave Young Hut at about 8:10 on Monday the 25th of February 2019, and it's a beautiful sunny day. Today had fabulous scenery, snow-capped mountains and wide valleys, waterfalls, flowers, etc. The walk up from Young Hut was easy, but once you start climbing near the upper end of Young Valley, called Young Basin, it is steep and never ending, so it seems. It was a tiring hike over Gillespie Pass, not technical, and parts of the descent you had to be careful, especially on the scree slope at the start. It is 12:40, we're on a saddle and it's been a relentless climb since about 10:30. I had a 20-minute siesta on an alpine meadow on the way up. And Trevor has arrived.
I'm declaring this lunch.
Okay, there'll be no argument. Still more to go up there. 1:43, so I had about a 40-minute lunch break. So we've ascended from the little saddle where we had lunch, and now looks like we're starting to finally descend, and that's where we're going. We're back into the tree line at 3:15 after quite a steep and eroded descent. Only another couple of 100 metres to a little valley with a creek in it, and then about another 2 kilometres to the junction between Siberia Hut and Crucible Lake. Hey campers, it's 5:15. We've finally made it down to the Siberia River at the junction with Crucible Lake walk. It's about 3 hours, somewhere up there. Siberia is about an hour's walk that away. We're thinking that we might camp here tonight if we're going to Crucible Lake tomorrow. That will save us some walking. It's a very pretty valley. Hi there campers, we arrived at Crucible Lake at 10:15, so about 2.5 hours to get up here from our camp, and there was some crappy ascents and over tree roots and everything like that as usual, then some nice valleys and a couple of creek crossings. Siberia Hut with a nice waterfall next to it. The trek from Siberia Hut to opposite Karen Forks Hut was a surprise. It is an old, wide, benched track created some time ago for horses and carts for when cattle roam the valley, and it is now well maintained by DOC, so no tree roots and rocks. You need to wade the Siberia River to get to Karen Forks Hut, and the normal point, signposted, was waist deep, per a walker we had met earlier. However, one of the hut wardens told us about a shallow crossing 200 metres downstream from the jet boat landing site, which is itself 20 minutes further on from the normal deeper crossing point. So we added an extra hour to our walk to keep our shorts and backs dry, and the water was just up to our knees. This morning we waited until 8:30 a.m. for the hut warden to get his weather report, which indicated at least 2 fine days following after this morning's rain of supposedly 48 millimetres. Well, it did rain, but not heavily, just consistently until lunchtime. The track up to Jumboland was okay, a breeze after the Gillespie Pass, but then the track markers and the actual route deteriorated to non-existence in places as there was poor track marking. At one point at the river's edge, the track was washed away. I saw a pile of new star droppers near where we stopped for lunch, so assume DOC will be dealing with a reroute at some point. And it's going to be a rainy day, 40 mil forecast. The Wilkin River that we were following was swollen from the rain, and we passed several tall triplets of waterfalls. We plotted our own route on the river flats in the last few kilometres and avoided the high river track over the 100-metre hill. Even though the river was up and running fast, it can still be much worse, hence the high water option over the hill that we did not need today. Top Forks Hut is a 10-bunk hut. Also there is a warden's room, which is really just an older bunk hut with several double bunks. The weather had cleared by the evening but was cold. A group had started the coal fire to dry shoes and gear, etc., so it was cosy and warm in the main hut. However, it was freezing outside overnight. The huts have generally a wood kindling store and a bag of coal. Trampers need to replace the wooden kindling for the next tenants who need heating. We had to get our feet wet not far from the hut to cross a stream feeding into the Wilkin River. Overall there was some forest walking and a couple of other knee-deep crossings before climbing up through rainforest to small Lake Diana. It took an hour. Some of the route to Lake Castalia was narrow on bank edges over wet grass. The usual orange star dropper track markers were present, but that deteriorated to rock cairns on the final approach over a section of large boulders above the lake outflow. More wet boots were also required at times. Trevor's found something to photograph. So come all the way around that gorge where the snow-capped mountain is, and we're now on a route, not a track, where it's every man for himself. We're part way up the waterfall. Hasn't been too bad. And long grass generally to hold on to. We started the climb up the waterfall at about 1:45. It's now 3 o'clock, so it's an hour and a quarter up. They're right about exposure, but not overly technically difficult. Just got to be careful where you put your feet and your handholds. I don't feel like carrying them. Well, it's now 5:48 and we've done the slow continuous ascent from Rabbit Pass. We didn't quite realise we'd have to go quite so high before we could go down. It's the case. So we're at the turning point with a big orange arrow flag here, and somehow we're going down there. The descent down the talus slope from Rabbit Pass was not ideal. I want to do it again. We have just completed Rabbit Pass. And it's taken us 10.5 hours to get here to the first valley that you descend to. Hey, good morning. It's the 2nd of March 2019. We are in the valley that you first descend to after crossing Rabbit Pass. We have another beautiful day, and I've counted 10 waterfalls. That's Rabbit Pass about there. Very high contrast. There's our little tent. 12:06 on the 2nd of March. We're following a creek system down that we have to cross countless times today before we get to Ruth Flat. We've certainly come from the valley floor down there up to here. Fantastic view. So trampers and campers, it's Monday the 4th of March 2019 at midday, and we have just completed our 9-day walk.